I'm going to explain how to prepare a pig rotisserie style, because it seems like people think it's really easy and you miss a few things. Alright, first thing, this is going to be how I explain everything. Now, first off, the pig, if they give it to you alive, you have to kill it. A few ways to kill it. Some people think, guns would make it easy, whatever. Well, Puerto Rican style, you don't use guns. What you do is you use a very sharp knife, very long, and go straight for the heart. Now, Puerto Rican cooking has morcillas, which is basically blood sausage, which includes the pig intestines stuffed full of rice and all sorts of other little goodies, and mixed in with the blood, which is all cooked together and tastes really good. Now, to do such, you would get the knife on the left side, second rib, you go straight in, they'll go right to the heart, and from there, you'd collect it in a bowl or in a pot or something. You just collect quite a bit of it so you can mix in later to make blood sausage. That is, if you are. I don't know at this time the whole recipe for morcilla, so I really can't tell you. So, if you're just going to let it drain, then let it drain. While you're going to be stabbing it, you need quite a few people to hold it down. Best to use rope and such, and a few people pinning it down, because a pig will fight really hard and could get out. After it dies, it's still going to bleed out a bit more. You hose it down, take off anything with its mud and such. Then, from there, you have to start shaving it. Why? Because all pigs, they look pink and everything, but it's not true. They have hair all over. So, to shave the pig, you get boiling hot water. And you just get, a little bit at a time. You just pour it over a section. It will tighten up the skin, and with a very sharp knife, you're able to shave it. This removes basically, outside skin, dead skin, and the hairs. You have to do it all over the body, everywhere. So, even the ears and so on. That is if you're going to eat them, but they come out really crispy whenever you go. All right, because this is going to be rotisserie style. Another thing too that you have to prepare is that whenever you're opening an animal, you have to know that its insides, his insides still have fecal matter and such. So if you don't want to poo on your food, then what you would do is you go to the anus, cut around it, basically pull it out a bit so you can tie it off with string or rope or so on before you pull it out. Now, by doing such, you'll be sealing off its exit way so that it doesn't get any poo on your food, right, on the pig. Then after you have all that prepared, you even shave off the toenails, because you don't eat the toenails. You can eat the feet, but that does not mean the toenails that are attached to it. So you shave that right off. Then you start cutting it open. So while it's on a table or however it may be, you cut it open, go in for the stomach area, the stomach and gut area. From there, you can actually go in to get its innards. You'll have a slice across the throat here. That is quite deep, so it opens up the esophagus, so it releases the lungs and all those little bits. From there, you can then scoop it out pretty easy. It pulls itself free from the inner lining inside of the ribs. By doing such, you can actually pull it out and just dump it into a bucket and look into the organs if you are going to use them. Some people need the heart. If you're going to actually be doing morcillas, which is the blood sausage, you'll need the small intestine. Now, before you can actually remove them, you'll have to crack open the chest. So the ribs right here, best way to do it, which I learned with a machete and a hammer. So what you do is you put the pig down, you put the machete in facing upwards, and then you hammer it in. Because all the organs have sunk downwards or away from it, you don't want to puncture any of the organs because it might rupture and then spew out and make your food toxic. Bad. So you cut up right up in here, just hammer right in, it cracks it open, and there you'll be able to clean out everything much easier. Another thing too, afterwards, you want to go into where the spine is, right down where the ribs are, through the inside, and you're going to cut it. Once again, with the machete, hammer it, and actually splits open the backbone so that you can actually pull out the spinal cord. What happens is that the spinal cord stays there when you're seasoning it and dry rub it, and it rots. It will become toxic and it can kill you. So you're going to just cut straight down and pull that out. Now that's already most of the work for preparing the pig. You cut out the eyes, because that's, well, unless you're going to eat them, but you cook them separately. You don't cook them while they're still attached to the pig. Let's see. So you have cleaned up the pig. Then you do a dry rub. When doing a dry rub, you do all sorts of different mixes of spices and such. Whatever your preference it may be. I have my own Puerto Rican recipe, and that's it. Yeah, so you do the dry rub, a ton of it. You rub all around the pig, and the ears, and the tongue. Oh, for just in case, another thing. Rigor mortis will set in, and the jaw is just going to stay stuck. You know, whenever they put an apple inside of a pig's mouth, and it keeps it nice and there, it makes it look nice too. But one thing it does, it keeps the jaw open, so when rigor mortis sets in, it doesn't clamp shut. So because we're doing it rotisserie style, you are going to have, you know, you need this opening for the pipe that's going to go through. Now, the pipe will actually come out through that hole you cut from where the anus was. So it fits right through there, all the way through, fits perfectly. Now, the pig itself will be cut basically in half from here to here, with this area still intact. Now, you have thick pieces of meat on the pig still, and the shoulders, and the ribs on the inside. Alright, you do a dry rub on the inside, you can cut inside a few of the ribs, put in some of the dry rub in there, and the shoulders, and the thighs, and even slice up the tongue a bit, give it a bit there too. From there, you can actually have basically almost all of it done. Now, before you do the dry rub, you would want to put it on the bar it's going to be spinning on. Now, the bars that are there for doing rotisserie would be prepared with holes inside them, so you can put a metal wire. Sometimes they'll have metal stakes that go inside too, so they slide in to keep this area open, so it stretches out, so it would be able to hold open this part of the pig. It's only like 2-3 bars, and it holds them out. They're about yay big. Keeps the rib cage open, and then you have wire which you would tie like in different spots of the pig, so that it'll hold it in place. Because if it starts spinning, let's say the bar is just spinning and there's none of those bars or the metal wire, it'll start spinning and the pig is just going to stay the same. He won't spin, it'll just stay there. Okay? So, with that, after you set it on the bar, you secure it, do the dry rub, you're going to leave it for about, I'll say about 10 hours, so that the seasonings can soak in. While doing such, you're going to just leave it somewhere high so that animals can't get it. We would usually put it like in the rafters somewhere, just, you know, high up, and we'll leave it there. So for the next day, we can just prepare it and cook it. To cook it is basically, we start the fire like a few minutes earlier, get it to hot coals, and only lightly, because we would have a metal box basically made out of zinc roofing stuff, or a cement box that we prepared long before, and that's basically it. You'd have it basically a low heat, because inside that box it's going to heat up really fast, really good. And then you have your motor or crank, or however you're going to do it, but it's going to be spinning and spinning and spinning. Now, because it still has a skin on it, because you're not skinning the pig, the skin's going to get crispy first. You have to watch it so that if in the first 2 hours the skin starts getting crispy, then you're still doing good. If it gets crispy really fast, then that's way too hot. What else? You just spread the coals on one side. Why? Because the pig is just going to rotate anyways. So if the pig is like so, then you can have some of the coals right here against one wall, and it'll be a section of heat, and while it rotates, it'll cook them completely. Best parts on the pig would be the cheek right here at the jaw. There it has some really, really tender meat, and all the rest of it is just awesome. And once again, Puerto Rican style cooking, we use the machete again, but it's for chopping it up. So after you finish cooking the whole pig, or while it's still cooking, you can cut off little chunks of it and still eat it. This right here, you would take down the whole thing whenever it's completely done, and you know it's done. You'll put it onto the table, something wood would be best, and then with the machete, you just start hacking it into all the nice big chunks. That way you'll be able to get nice big pieces all separated. You break the bones and such, and no problems. And it's the fastest way to serve it whenever you have a lot of people. Any questions?